4, 3.
One risk that came along with power is the abuse of power itself. Corruption is the abuse of entrusted power for private gain.
And corruption is a serious scourge. It is a serious scourge. I say that corruption is to the economy what AIDS is to health.
One civil society organization is leading the fight against corruption. Operating globally through its worldwide chapters, Transparency International, or TI, is bringing people together in a powerful worldwide coalition to end the devastating impact of corruption.
Well, Transparency International in the beginning tried to develop instruments to help the countries which are participating to identify their own corruption problems, to develop ideas on how one can resolve this, and then introduce change, if possible, in cooperation with governments and with the private sector. So we look at the system of integrity in a country as a holistic reality. So all of these things together, like a mosaic, they create what we call the integrity system of a society.
Well, you see, the basic idea is to build a coalition between the private sector, the public sector, and civil society to fight against corruption, because there's no choice, there's no option. In countries of the South or countries of the developing countries, as I was saying this morning in a meeting, there are three important areas for any country: health, education, and justice. And if in these three areas corruption is embedded, there is no way this country can develop. There is nowhere where the weakest people can survive. So we owe a duty. If we don't, we will pay sooner or later. So the fight against corruption is a must. There's no option.
Transparency International is a young organization. It started in 1993, so we're a decade and a half. And now, we have close to 100 chapters around the world, which are very important. We have strong individual members, and we have become known around the world as the preeminent organization which is combating corruption.
In order to organize and coordinate all these chapters, an annual membership meeting was held on the Indonesian island of Bali from the 25th until the 29th of October 2007. Members of Transparency International from over 70 countries, representing national chapters around the world, came together to exchange information, opinions, and experience.
We've had participants from over 70 countries around the world. We've had 5 very intense days, side meetings, workshops, focus on anti-corruption issues that not only did our governance of our movement proud, but also helped us to sharpen our focus on the various strategies that we will implement both on national, regional levels, but also globally to tackle corruption in the years ahead.
Hosted by TI's national chapter in Indonesia, the convention discussed thematic issues such as poverty and development, political corruption, revenue transparency, civil society monitoring, corruption in defense and corruption in the judiciary, as well as TI internal governance issues.
The focus was on the regional strategy, developing regional training opportunities, and discussing some key issues. And I think what came out of this meeting are some consensus on important issues, and one that has substantially raised in the region is the interest and willingness of chapter to engage in the field of political corruption, and starting with the transparency of money in politics, political party funding, political campaign funding, and how these are transparent. And I think this has come out as something that nearly unanimously chapter want to engage, and we need to address this. That's only one issue. There are many others that in which chapters are very interested, and that's the challenge for us. The challenge is we are interested to do everything, but we've got to make some strategic priorities.
Several international conventions were also discussed in the forum. Among them are the UN Convention Against Corruption, the OECD Anti-Bribery Convention, and the Stolen Asset Recovery, or STAR Initiative.
In terms of the substance, the issues that we discuss about civil society monitoring on UN conventions against corruptions, and based on the discussion and resolution passed in IMM, we will bring that into the UNCAC meeting in January, also in Bali. That's very strategic meeting where the state parties will be there. We also passed resolution regarding OECD conventions against corruption. Several provisions of those conventions allow the company basically to pay facilitation payment, which we at Transparency International think is bribery. So we ask OECD to strengthen the conventions to prevent facilitation payment. We also passed resolution regarding the commitment of TI movement to work on and work with other chapters and other institutions on stolen asset recovery. So we are supporting UN ODC and World Bank initiative regarding the stolen asset recovery. And also we passed resolution on Pakistan, on Myanmar, and several others issues which is internally of interest of the members of TI.
Asset recovery is important because it permits the people from whom the assets were stolen to get it back. But I think we should make sure that while we punish the guy who stole, we should punish the guy who helped him hide the money. So when we talk about those who stole, we have to talk about those who keep it, because they also are responsible.
During the convention, members of TI also elected a new TI Board of Directors.
So my dream is to get rid of this terrible cancer of mankind and at least control it enough so that the potential of the whole world can be developed and globalization works for everybody and not only for the rich and the powerful.
We welcome support from companies who have a strong commitment to fighting corruption, and you know, both at our chapter level and at the international level.
together more than 200 members from all corners of the world does not happen too often. After days of intense meetings and discussions, all participants were invited together in the beautiful Garuda Wisnu Kencana Park.
We would like to invite the Honorable Mr. Todung Mulya Lubis, the Chairman of Transparency International Indonesia, to give a speech.
On behalf of Transparency International Indonesia, to say thank you, to express our gratitude, our appreciations to every one of us who have been working very hard, making contribution, making intervention in last couple days of our meeting. I think we all learned a lot from this meeting. I myself learned a lot, and I do believe it strengthened our commitment. I just would like to one more time express our thanks, our gratitude to TI Secretariat, who has been also working very hard in helping us to have this happen. Thanks also to the leadership of our chair, Madam Huger Label, I would like also to thank my team, TI Indonesia, have been working very hard, and being a chair, normally I got the credit, but the credit should go to the team, to Rizal, to Rizky, to Aida, to Soraya. I don't even remember all the names, but they are the one who make this happen. Lastly, I would like also to thank our sponsors for tonight's dinners. Bank BNI, one of the state-owned bank, which has been talking to us about Integrity Pact. I hope this is a good beginning for Bank BNI to cooperate in building up the Integrity Pact in one of our largest state-owned banks.
Greece, beware, we have a tough job ahead.